trauma bond is an intense emotional attachment formed between a perpetrator of abuse and the victim. Trauma bonding is one example of an unhealthy abusive relationship, and the bond is created primarily as a result of a cycle of abuse and reinforcement, where after every instance of abuse, the abuser professes love for the victim and attempts to make the victim feel safe and needed. Trauma bonding can make leaving an abusive relationship feel confusing and overwhelming, especially when the victim struggles with separation anxiety or has an insecure attachment style, which is why today we'll be talking about 3 things to know to identify and break away from trauma-bonded relationships. But first, if you're new to this channel, I'm Jordan Travers. I'm a licensed clinical psychotherapist and the clinical director of Awake Therapy. If you're interested in learning more about Awake Therapy, you can click on the link in the description. And if you're in need of psychological or emotional support, feel free to book an initial consultation with one of our therapists by visiting www.awaketherapy.me. So let's dive in. Step number 1, familiarize yourself with the signs, aka 5 stages of trauma bonding. Often a trauma bonded relationship can start off as a normal relationship. Here are 7 ways you can catch the signs early. Love bombing. Love bombing typically manifests as sudden and overwhelming displays of affection. One easy way to detect this is when you notice the other person is taking the relationship too fast by saying that they love you very early on in the relationship. Criticizing the victim. In this stage, there's a sudden burst of criticism, especially noticeable during arguments where the blame is put on the victim, and as a result, the victim ends up apologizing for things that weren't even their fault. Manipulation. Abusers defend their behavior by using manipulative tactics. When a victim tries to speak out against the oppression, the abuser might gaslight them, making them question their sense of reality and identity to the point that the victim either gets convinced that there is nothing wrong with the abusive behavior or may resort to reactive abuse towards the perpetrator. A sense of identity loss. The abusive nature of the relationship leaves the victim in a state of severe psychological distress. They may feel emotionally numb, feeling as though they've lost who they are, and they may socially withdraw themselves and even exhibit suicidal ideation. And last, addiction to the cycle. The abusive nature of the trauma bond is cyclical. After an abusive incident, an abuser goes back to stage 1 of love bombing only to start it over again. The victim may try to hide the abuser's behavior by making it seem like normalcy has returned until another incident of abuse strikes again. This type of bond can profoundly impact a victim's worldview, but the cycle of abuse is not unbreakable. Once you've identified the signs of trauma bonding, here's what you can do to avoid falling in the trap. Focus on self-care and self-compassion. Abusive situations can lower your self-esteem, and instead, being harsh on yourself and resorting to self-blame, you can practice self-compassion. Engaging in actions that make you feel good can reinforce the idea that you don't need to be dependent on other people to make you feel happy or good about yourself. The more you remind yourself of your own agency, the easier it will be to feel and believe. Try leaning on your support and peer groups. Therapy is an incredible tool for helping people shake off the experiences of past trauma. It can not only help you exit a dangerous situation, but it can also equip you with tools that can come in handy when making important life choices in the future. Having communication with others who have gone through something similar can be very helpful. The shared experiences of trauma can lead to post-traumatic growth. If you don't feel up to a support group, lean on the people in your life that you feel close to and whom you can deeply trust. And to end things off, trauma bonding is a relationship dynamic, not a character flaw. It can occur to anyone. Identifying the signs early and taking steps to overcome it can help prevent disastrous consequences. Remember that it's always possible to end a cycle of abuse and find safety in healthy relationships. Thanks for watching. I hope these tips help you foster a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more helpful videos like this. And remember, platforms like YouTube are an excellent resource for getting information out to others. However, it does not take the place of individualized psychotherapy. If you need mental health assistance, whether to talk through a current issue or to create a more prosperous and fulfilling life, you can book an initial consultation using the link in the description. See you in the next video. Bye.